All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Kevin Stofan. I'm with DataRobot, and I get the pleasure of introducing our next session to you and also sharing a few thoughts with you. So what I wanted to do was give you some early insights into our journey in enabling some of our current users in the automated machine learning space that have spatial or geospatial needs. First of all, I wanted to thank Cardo again. One, for putting on this conference. Two, I think it's really important, as Javi said, to promote spatial data science, so thanks for doing that. And also thank you for your contributions to the open source community. So a couple of observations that we've had in the last year or so as an automated machine learning company, enabling sort of non-traditional spatial users. One is, and I think this kind of echoes something that Javi said earlier, is there's this new cohort of analysts that didn't necessarily come from a traditional spatial background that you're now going to see with spatial needs now. So I think it's important that we build tools and appreciate that. I think this is very similar to what happened in the Web 2.0 era, where we had a lot of web developers, and some of the things we saw that happen with web mapping there. Very similar, people that weren't trained formally in geography or GIS. A couple of things that we've seen in the machine learning space is that, the traditional GIS sort of business rule or spatial query types of analyses aren't really adequate enough for machine learning. So where we have sort of fuzzy relationships between predictors and target variables, and also, more of a probabilistic look at how things impact models. Another thing we've noticed is that state-of-the-art geoprocessing tools, the sorts of things that have been in a GIS for a long time, are just not efficient for the sort of workloads that machine learning requires. So with that, a couple of opportunities that we've seen in the last year. Again, I think this is a point that Javi made earlier, is that the spatial tools that are embedded in traditional BI tools are sort of maxed out, right? These are, you can really only get, what you're getting out of that is essentially some simple business rules and some visualizations there. So there's a big opportunity for spatial data scientists and spatial data tools to pick up on that opportunity. Some of the traditional GIS approaches to modeling spatial generation processes might not be adequate enough either. So when you look at some of the things that Cardo's doing in Cardo frames, for example, some sort of savvy, catchment areas and things like that. Those are the types of things that we need to start using, or need to start utilizing more of in machine learning workflows. And finally, and I think a couple of the speakers have said this earlier, is investing and supporting frameworks that support like high-performance geoprocessing. So you think of things like GeoSpark, GeoTrellis. Those are the sorts of things that need a lot of our support. With that, I'd like to talk about a few of the session themes, or some of the themes that are coming up in the next few presenters. One of the things you're going to see is providing, this kind of echoes some of my observations, is providing baseline geospatial tools for non-spatial analysts. I think you're going to see a lot of that. You're going to see a couple of the speakers talk about the ethical use of location data and models. That's going to be a recurring theme in the next few minutes. And then also meeting the geoprocessing demands, both computationally and business needs. So you have a couple of presenters that are going to focus on that. If you have some time during one of the breaks, we're in the back. Dave's the engineering lead on our geospatial team, and I'm the product lead. So please, I'd love to discuss some of these topics in more detail and show you what we got at DataRobot.